Good evening and welcome to the closing dinner of the 2017 ASU GSV Summit. My name is Patrick Brothers and I'm the CEO of Navitas Ventures. This year we're presenting Global Silicon Alley and a proud partner of the summit. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening, and I don't know about you, but what has been an incredibly intense 3 days. Let's put our hands together for Deborah, Michael, and a magnificent team that make this all happen. I hope you all saw Navitas's global landscape of 5,000, soon 30,000 companies shaping the future of education and talent. But I'm sure you all watched many of the 7-minute pitches from over 300 companies who made up Global Silicon Alley this year. So without further ado, it's my privilege to announce this year's 3 winners. StellarEmploy, Wisr, and Mathspace. I'd like to invite Sarah Nadell from StellarEmploy to join us here on the stage. Sarah? Great.
Hi everyone, I am Sarah Nadell and I am thrilled to talk to you tonight about how StellarEmploy is already saving our very first client more than $2.5 million in reduced turnover and increased productivity, and how we plan to place 10 million workers who are happier, more productive, and more stable in their jobs by 2020. So the internet really hasn't improved job search in the W-2 hourly job space. At best, it's moved classified ads online and maybe added a keyword search. At StellarEmploy, we believe that there's a place for everyone, and everyone is good at something. And we call ourselves a job discovery platform. We connect people in the W-2 hourly job space to the jobs where they're most likely to excel based on a proprietary, preference-based machine learning algorithm. And so to get a sense of how important solving the problem of job matches, I want you to all take a moment and guess, how much money do you think is spent replacing crew members at Burger King every single year? And while you think about that, I'll just point out you're going to be hearing a lot about Burger King tonight because one of their franchisees was our very first client. So if you guessed $1 billion, you would have been correct. And that's due to surprisingly high turnover, a surprisingly high cost of replacement, and the very high number of workers in crew positions at Burger King. And Burger King is not alone. It represents less than 1% of the W-2 hourly job market in the United States. And so when we look at fast food, retail, call centers, and distribution, at StellarEmploy's current price point, we're looking at a $1.6 billion opportunity. And that doesn't even include other hourly jobs in the US or international opportunities. And we've already demonstrated our product in Peru and in Nigeria. So why is this such a big problem? What's going wrong? Well, in the current job market, hourly job seekers are spreading their resumes or their applications far and wide, and employers are getting inundated with applications that really don't have a whole lot of information. When you're filling a job that doesn't require a particular education or a particular work skill, you really don't know what to base it on. And so it takes an average of 5 phone calls just to get a job seeker on the phone. Employers typically hire the first person who's above the bar who can work the shift they're trying to fill. Job seekers take the first job they get. This is really not successful matching. It's essentially random. And so what I want to convince you of tonight is that there is an opportunity to connect people to the jobs where they're most likely to do well, using real information about those job seekers. And that's where we come in. StellarEmploy is based on something called the ERI, the effort reward imbalance. And it's actually pretty basic when you think about it. It says that different types of people experience different types of effort differently, and different types of people experience different types of rewards differently. Your ideal job is relatively low effort and relatively high reward, and you and I are different, so our ideal jobs are different. Now, we've been able to use this to get down to a level of granularity that might be surprising. So Burger King and Domino's, which are both clients of ours, look for actually their ideal employees are really different. At Burger King, an ideal employee is an inveterate multitasker. And if you've been to a Burger King recently, you would know that. There's a really big menu list, and it takes an average of 3 to 4 people to fill every order. At Domino's, the ideal employee is actually an attention to detail person, which also makes sense if you've been to a Domino's recently. It's mostly about getting the toppings correct, and it takes 1 to 2 people to fill every order. So now job seekers can go from saying, well, I'm a fast food person, to I'm a Domino's person, or I'm a Burger King person. And so here's how it works in practice. Job seekers come to our website, they answer 15 minutes of questions about themselves, and we can give them a list of jobs where they are most likely to succeed. Employers trust us to schedule interviews for them right off the bat, and frontline managers set aside 1 to 2 hours every single week to interview our candidates. Meanwhile, their supervisors and directors can track and reward best hiring practices. Now, on the job seeker side, they use our platform for free, and they benefit through more stable job placements and quicker job placements and increased productivity, which we've already seen examples of employers paying more because we're giving them better workers. And we are very proud to say that we believe that in 2017 we'll have generated more than $200,000 in additional income just for our placements in Q1 of this year. Thank you. And on the employer side, I'll just walk you through the ROI of our very first client. So this is Cambridge Franchise Holdings. They're a 120 Burger King franchisee based out of Memphis, Tennessee. And when they came to us, they were spending $8.5 million dealing with turnover every single year. We charged them $110,000 annually, and they're expecting to see a $2.5 million savings in a 30 percentage point reduction in turnover this year. We've already demonstrated the reduction in turnover. Additionally, they're expecting to see about $500,000 in increased productivity. So Burger King estimates that every 1 second improvement in speed of service generates about $450 in additional sales every single month. And we've seen up to a 7-second improvement in speed of service in many of those locations. So it's not a surprise that we're seeing the number of placements and the amount of logging in increasing every single week. And our users really like us. So my favorite is Toju, who said, "I can't believe we haven't been doing it this way all along." We started with a focus on fast food, and we're currently operational in 150 locations, but we also service cleaning services, distribution centers, and we're just about to begin with our first call center. And so over the next 18 months, look for a real improvement in the unit economics of the product. We currently get about $900 per year for every fast food location. I'll focus on that, of which $300 is operating profit. By the end of 2018, we'll have increased our price due to additional add-ons in services, and we'll have automated much of our communication with employers and with applicants. So we'll be getting $1,200 in revenue, of which we expect about $1,000 to be operating profit. We really think we've hit the nail on the head with the hourly job market, and we see exit opportunities with existing job market platforms, strategic investors, or tech companies which are getting into the hourly job space, and we very much believe that we have the team to do it. I came up with the concept of StellarEmploy while I was completing my PhD at Harvard University. My background is in behavioral science, statistical analysis, and the economics of poverty alleviation. Carlos Montoya, our VP of Product, has more than 20 years of experience building and managing development teams. And Irene Chung, our VP of Product, is the MBA of the crew. She also has consulting experience, app development experience, and executive headhunting experience. We've done all of this with just 3 full-time employees, but we have a lot of very supportive advisors. Henry Delouvrier's background is as a product and strategy manager at ZocDoc, and Tom Berry, our very first investor, through his company Zephyr Management, has made a fortune investing in products geared at the bottom of the pyramid populations. Thank you so much for listening. It was a joy to talk to you about the product.
Okay, fantastic. I'd now like to invite Kate Volzer from Wisr to join me on the stage. Thank you. Hey, Kate.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking over this way. Okay. I'll look after this.
Thank you. I was promised Eye of the Tiger as my intro music, so I'll take that. Pyrotechnics, too. My name is Kate Volzer. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Wisr. We are higher education's leading knowledge-sharing community. We are an alumni career network. Oh, this is a little blurry. Student advising platform and dedicated marketing team all rolled into one platform. We engage all constituents inside of a university network. We are 14 months old, and we are headquartered in Cleveland, Ohio, the city of champions. And so naturally, when I saw Steph Curry walking through the lobby 2 days ago, I was underwhelmed. Go Cavs. We are a 7-person team, a combination of education and education technology veterans. We launched in 5 highly successful formats on 5 different university campuses, all of them paying us to help co-develop the software. We have, well now actually, since submitting this, we have over $2 million in active pipe, and then we also have over 100 opportunities. And I am so proud to say that I'm here today not raising money. These are some of the these are the logos of the campuses that we did partner with. We started out as a mentorship platform, but quickly realized that we were onto something more. And we grew into a true community, sharing, making alumni available for students like me, first generation kids that just didn't really know what was out there for them. So we make it easy for our users to opt in via a mobile optimized platform. We use social authentication to populate profiles in under 60 seconds. We also pre-verify entire alumni directories so that if you are part of the community, your institution should know that you're actually part of the community and you're immediately welcomed into the platform. We make it easy for students who don't know what they want, so marketing is not like Mad Men, as it turns out. And the marketing that my mom did for her spa salon was quite different than the marketing that I hope to do and currently do at Wisr. So finding alumni profiles, teaching students how to ask for help, removing as many barriers as possible. So this is a screenshot of our agenda builder, which is configurable by the institution. So if you are a STEM school, you can say, let's talk about, science, math, very techie things. One of our clients is a very religious institution, and one of their topics of conversation is actually relocating to a new city and finding a place of worship. We eliminate the need to exchange personal information ahead of confirming a session. So we actually provide a conference bridge and access code for each session so that our institutions can finally measure alumni engagement. All of this data we're capturing, time-stamped everything, and we put it into real-time dashboards. This is a real dashboard for Case Western Reserve University. We actually provide kind of sub-dashboards for other constituents inside of an institution. We actually work with 3 alumni associations at Case Western in helping them to unify their data transfer. We've had rapid traction out of the gate, and it has really been incredible to have true partners in the process. And I think we did the right thing by pausing to take 6 months to work with all of these campuses to do right by them and build their communities. So inside of 6 weeks, we had over 2,000 members inside of the Case Western Reserve Network. The University of Chicago, my alma mater, has recently upgraded to include all of their graduate programs, including the professional degree programs. Cedarville University and Case Western Reserve have actually made us an academic requirement. So career services becoming a requirement in the classroom. Denison University and Oberlin they've seen so much success with us that they're in the place of kind of letting go of another software platform, which Wisr now fills the gap for. Overall, we've increased alumni engagement by 300% across all of our constituents. We have a growing pipeline. Our average deal size is $20,000. Again, the total pipe is now over $2 million. My sales team crushes it. They're watching it. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work. Hit the phones tomorrow morning. We're skipping the meeting. We have over 100 opportunities in pipe, and those are some of the logos in the bottom right corner that we're actively implementing. A CEO is nothing without their team, and I am so proud to have these co-founders as mentors and peers. John, Chris, and I are the perfect combination of hustler, hipster, and hacker in that order. I don't consider myself a hipster. John up front is the hipster. My background, I worked in higher education for 5 years in a combination of admissions and career services. So I did have the opportunity to live the real pain that some of our colleagues in the career services offices did, navigating LinkedIn, static alumni directories in order to help students. I met John Kniffick when he was the CEO, co-founder of Decision Desk, and that's where I learned about software. Sorry for having you teach me about databases. It's working now. That's where I learned how to sell. My first contract was 4 figures. My second contract was 7 figures. I have my MBA from Chicago Booth in economics, entrepreneurship, and a couple other long concentrations that they need to work on condensing. John is the best mentor and coach that a CEO could have. He grew Decision Desk to over 25 employees. It is currently still a very successful company. He raised over $7 million in kind of traditional venture and then non-traditional funding. He was the entrepreneur in residence at Oberlin. Chris Ciccarello is our CTO. Man, he's incredible. He has built consumer-grade SaaS products in the past, which is, I think, something that higher ed has been lacking. So I'm very proud to have our high-quality software that we do have. He also has experience managing and leading a large team of software developers. Again, we are not raising money, but our round was led by the North Coast Angel Fund and Jumpstart Ventures, which are both Cleveland-based funds. Some angels in the education technology space, Jason Palmer, Raj Kaji. Investor Ventures based out of Chicago. Assuming we continue on the trajectory that we're on right now, we will explore a Series A in early 2018. Thank you.
And finally, let's hear it for Daniel Yehoah from Mathspace.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I bet this isn't the first time you've heard about an adaptive math program, huh? So let's do this a little differently. I want you to think of an adaptive math program that you've seen before, whether it's Khan Academy or something else. And as you think about it, I'm going to guess that it falls within one of 2 basic paradigms. Either it's got a question that asks you to type the final answer, or it's multiple choice. So what's missing there, guys? What's missing is everything in between. How the student got the answer, their work, their reasoning process. And at Mathspace, we think math is more than just about getting the answer. So we've created a 3rd paradigm. For the first time, students can show all their work for every step of every math question, and our technology grades every step as the student completes it, giving them immediate formative feedback throughout the problem-solving process. So we have combined the teacher's gradebook, the student's notebook, and a digital textbook in a single cloud-based app. So we know textbooks are outdated, and while hardware is being rolled out, the software for math is lagging, and multiple choice is just guessing games. It's not the best way to learn math. We know the best way to learn math is to have a one-on-one tutor sitting right next to you, but that's expensive, so that's where Mathspace comes in. So for the first time, students can show all their work and input it into Mathspace, and those on mobile devices can use their finger or stylus and simply input it, and our digital handwriting recognition digitizes their handwriting. Our Step Smart technology grades every step automatically, so we can flag incorrect steps right at the point of misconception, right during the flow of problem solving, and get students back on track with hints and suggestions. Teachers can easily assign and manage work and monitor this in real time. So we have a full digital curriculum on top of this groundbreaking technology. for grades 3 through to pre-calculus. Over 8,000 video tutorials. We're available on all devices, all platforms, Windows tablets, Android smartphones, and we have the world's smartest adaptive learning platform. Why is that? Because we collect more data than any other program. We collect data at every step of every question. So we know more about students, and we can use that insight to give them a more personalized path through the curriculum. And we have all the gamification, widgets, and project-based learning that make this an all-in-one digital resource. And this has led us to be recognized as winners at BET, the Association of American Publishers, and sweeping all the awards at ISTE a couple of years ago. So our business model, we focus on 3 segments: K-12, higher education, and the consumer market. So in K-12, we continue to grow our traction in the US and in our home market of Australia. And earlier this year, we were adopted by Hong Kong as their only digital math program after an international tender. This is a big feather in our cap, because as you probably know, Hong Kong rates second behind Singapore for math scores. In higher education, we've partnered with Pearson and their flagship digital franchise, MyMathLab. So 5 million students in community colleges and higher ed now have access to Mathspace. Again, this is a huge vote of confidence in our team, in our technology, in our ability to execute large-scale partnerships. I want to tell you about our consumer model. Earlier this month, we announced a partnership with Australia's second largest bank, Westpac. And we announced that every student in Australia now has access to Mathspace for free. This is a huge deal. And Westpac announced this on the occasion of their 200th birthday as a gift to the nation. And together we want to start a national conversation about the importance of numeracy skills for Australian students. Now, on top of that, parents can buy our premium offering as a home tutor, and they pay $10 a week instead of $50 an hour. But here's the catch. If their child completes their 3 assignments per week, we refund the $10 right into their Westpac bank account. So it's free if you use it. You can see this is a hugely disruptive model for online and offline tutoring. We've created a financial incentive for parents and students to get better at math. So we're looking for strategic partners to help bring this consumer model to the US and internationally. We know the market's huge, and I always fixate on the smallest number on this slide. $20 is what it costs an Indian student to buy the Akash 2 tablet. So we know the world's moving to digital and moving to mobile. That's where we've built Mathspace. The team has shown over the last 7 years an ability to innovate and execute on really challenging problems across tech, engineering, content, sales, partnerships, and business models. So who's our biggest competitor? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C, D, E, F? Well, what they all have in common is this is how they ask their questions. Multiple choice guessing games. We all know multiple choice is not the best way to learn math, and it's completely inadequate as you get to the more rigorous middle and high school math. So our philosophy at Mathspace is simple. How you get your answer is more important than what the final answer is, because how you get your answer, that's where the learning's happening. That's the reasoning process. So naturally, we think that's where you should get your feedback, and not just at the end of the question. So to finish, we've been called the Holy Grail of math because we've solved 3 very difficult problems in a single program. First, the ability for students to show their work and get feedback throughout that process, no matter how they solve that problem. Secondly, handwriting recognition, creating a fluid, pencil and paper-like environment. And finally, the world's smartest adaptive learning engine, taking all of that data to really give precision pedagogy for every student. So I'd like to thank you here at Mathspace. We believe every student can excel at mathematics with the right help at the right time, and our mission is to be the right help at the right time for every student. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to our 3 winners, but I have one last request, and that's for an incredibly enormous round of applause for the incredibly brave and inspirational founders, all of whom pitched over the last 3 days as part of Global Silicon Alley. That's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you.